Okay, so here's the equation of a parabola, and here's what each thing does. So when you add something outside of the parentheses, when it's positive, that means that it's gone up, and when it's negative, that means that it's gone down. Our h, when it's positive, it goes to the left. When it's negative, it goes to the right. Our a value does two things. If it's positive, that means it opens up. If it's negative, that means it opens down. And a also, if it's bigger than 1, it gets skinnier. And if it's bigger than 1, it gets wider. Okay? So with the left and right, you start with your parabola. Let me draw a quick picture. You start with your parabola at 0, 0, like this. So this is just your x squared graph. So when you start moving your graph left and right, like if I gave you this equation, y equals x minus 2 squared plus 1, that means that it goes to the right 2 and up 1. So you're actually taking the vertex and you're moving it to the right 2, up 1, and it's still going to open up. So that means that whatever your h is and your k make up your vertex. Okay? So all of this stuff you have to know in order to do all of these questions. Now, a trick to help you. If you go to www.desmos.com, it's going to look like this. You don't need an account. You can just hit graphing calculator on the main screen. Now, this is just a calculator like you have, but it's easier to see on the computer. So like, for example, question 4 on your quiz says, will the graph of y equals 3x plus 1 squared minus 5 be wider or skinnier than the graph of y equals x squared? Well, if you don't know that, then you can just use this and plug in both of the equations. So like that. And you're just going to plug it in like you see it. In the corner, there's a keypad that'll help you with like squared and stuff. So if you click that, so if I type in 3 times x plus 1, I want to square it, minus 5. So because it's red here, that means this is my red graph. And then I want to know, is this wider or skinnier than y equals x squared? So I would just plug in x squared. So if I look at the graphs, you'd have to look which one is skinnier, the red one or the blue one. So even if you don't know exactly what the equation, you can still use this to help you out. This will also help you with the graphing too, numbers 16 through 19, except you still need to know the shifts because I'm sure your teacher wants to see exact points, but you could always check your work using this too. The table, so the bottom part with the table. When you have a parabola, it opens up like a U, so it's the same on both sides. So what that means, and I'm just giving you a random problem here, is if you have a table that looks like this, let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you have 6, 3, 2, 3, 6, 8, okay? The way that you find your vertex is you're looking for symmetry on the y. So you're looking for the same y values. So I see a 6 and a 6 here. I see a 3 and a 3 here. So the point in the middle, that's going to be your vertex. Okay? Now from that, and if you want, you can use Desmos to graph it, but from that, my vertex is at 3, 2. So my vertex is like this, and we're going to assume it opens upward. Your line of symmetry goes right through the x value of your vertex. So remember, my vertex is at 3, 2. So the x value is 3. So that means that my line of symmetry is right here. And you see how it's going through the 3 on the x-axis? It's x equals 3. That's my line of symmetry. Okay. And I think that's about it. So you should be able to use this. And then I would say if you need anything else for interval notation, I would Google it just to make sure you're writing it correctly. Just Google interval notation with parabolas and it should be right there. But anything that you need help with, since this is a take-home quiz, you can use Desmos to help you graph. So you could really graph any of these equations if you want to figure out how it shifts. Just know that you always start with the graph x squared. So like, I'm just going to show you the first question you did get right. That graph did shift up 5. But if you didn't know, we're going to graph x squared because that's our parent function. And then we're going to graph x squared plus 5. And if you look, my graph went from here to here, it went up 5 because each 2 tick marks is 1. All right, I hope this helps.